Hey there folks, on this video I'm going to show you how to modify your two-way radio so you can have an always on button, so you can have a hands-free talk. You won't have to sit there and hold this button down to talk. Okay, I've already done this side of it, and as you can see right here, I've got a toggle switch set. When you push that, it's always on. Okay, as you can see, it's transmitting to the other one. Anyhow, you do not have to push the button, but if you want to use the button, you can. You can still use the button, or you can just do the toggle. Test one, test one. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what you need. Of course, you're going to need a soldering tool, and you need something that's got a pretty good precision point on it. You're going to need some solder. What I use is lead-free rosin core solder. Okay, and then the next thing you're going to need for this is you're going to need 2 toggle switches. Okay, I'm going to do each radio. So this is what I went and got. It's a little 2-pole. As you can see, there's only 2 poles there, 2 connections. You're going to use 2 wires, and this is the switch that I went and got. Be back in a little bit with the next step. Alrighty folks, next thing I'm going to do is I go ahead and prep my switch with my little pieces of wire. Going ahead and let me zoom in on there. Going ahead and solder your pieces of wire to your switch right now. Okay, next step, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, the next thing you want to do is go ahead and open up your unit and figure out where you're going to mount your switch. Okay, I've already done this with the other one. I figured out where there's enough room for all the stuff to be inside, and go ahead and mark it. Okay, with a marker. That's where you're going to need to drill your hole for the switch to go through. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a drill and I'm going to drill that out right there. See that where that hole is? I'm going to drill that out, and half my hole is going to be on this side of the case and half of it's going to be on the other side. So I'm going to drill right down the center of that crack. Be right back in a second. Okay, see, I've got my hole drilled. Now what you want to do is you want to make sure that you get a drill bit that's the size of the shaft on your toggle switch that your paperwork will tell you, or your wrapper will tell you what you need. Now, next thing, just go on ahead and open the unit up. Put your switch in there where it's going to go. Hang on, be right back. Okay, that's where the switch is going to go. Now, on this particular two-way, I've got one contact right there that I need to solder one wire to, and then when you flip this over, this is locate your button. That's the button that you use to talk right there. Okay, so I'm going to solder one wire to that contact, then I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to solder the other wire to the contact on the other side. That's both sides of that switch. So I'm just tying into that switch with this switch. Okay, and once I've soldered that together, then be back after that. Okay, I've got the one wire. I've got one of the wires soldered right here, as you can see, into half of that switch right there. Now we'll flip it over and we'll take this other wire and we'll solder it in right there, right in there. Okay, be back in a minute. Okay, now I'm soldered in on both sides what I'll do next is go ahead and, you know, push the wires around a little bit to where it'll allow me to go ahead and mount that switch right there where I need it to go. Alright, now that's where I need the switch to go, right there. So I'll hold that in place and go ahead and push the wires down. Make sure that none of the wires are touching each other. And we'll go ahead and reassemble the radio. Oops. Take our regular talk button and put it on there. And then we will put it back together. Be right back. Okay, as you can see, we've got it back together, and it switches in place where it's going to be, and it's functional. But before we go ahead and put our screws and all that back in, we want to go ahead and place our battery in there and test her out, because ain't nothing worse than to put all your screws back in and have it not work correctly. So we'll give her a test. Test one, test one. We've got our other machine here. Test one, test one, testing one, testing one, testing. All right, good to go, y'all. Now the last step that we'll do is we'll go ahead and put our screws in the case, you know, to fasten the case together, and then we will put our retainer fastener on the top of there and tighten it up, and then this job's done. Hope you enjoyed it. Fixing your radio the way you want it. Radio Shack will allow you to modify a lot of things. If you know how to do it, you can get the parts from them. Bye. Okay, well, I'm back again just to say one more thing about it. Now my two-way radio has a dual talk button, one that you just push, and it's, you know, it's momentary. Just as long as you're holding it, you can talk, or you can flip this one and you can talk as long as it's on the other. You know, anyhow, whatever. I did both sides of this, both radios, for a total of about $6 and some change. All right, bye.